In looking at monuments on which Flaxman and Hayley collaborated, I will choose a small number to discuss. But it makes sense to begin with a letter from Flaxman to Hayley where he talks about his proposal for the Mansfield monument in Westminster Abbey. And it's from March the 31st, 1795. Your benevolence, ever seeking to perform kind offices, has induced you to give a portion of attention to my future improvements, and in art and many valuable hints, for which I shall ever be thankful. And as they agree with these general principles, which are the most excellent for the regulation of monumental composition, so they will be my guides in all future works of that class. But you know that general rules never hold good in all cases, without some allowance. So Lord Mansfield's monument, being for a particular situation in Westminster Abbey, the form of the arch under which it will be placed, and the surrounding objects, require that it would be a group nearly of the form and dimensions which I have determined. Otherwise, it would be in discord with the whole, and by impairing the effect of the whole, its own must suffer as a part by natural consequence. The attendant figures for which Lord Mansfield formed the group are wisdom and justice, not fortitude and justice. Fortitude is represented with a lion by her side and leaning on a column, which be a proper emblem for a general, an admiral, or a patriot, but by no means for a judge. In other words, you silly ass, you've misread it. It is also to be remembered in our art that much depends on the manner of treating the subject and the execution. I have said this much to show that what I have done in Lord Mansfield's monument has not been without reflection. Permit now to offer a proof of the high respect which I consider your judgment in this province of sculpture. Collins's monument was your idea, and I do not think it could have been better conceived. And then, Chichester will ever be dear to me. If I was a sovereign, I would grant it privileges. If I was a rich artist, I would show my gratitude in some other way. I do not forget that this spirit of taste and liberality is derived from my earthen benefactor, which of course is Hayley himself, whose life I may hope to be crowned with blessings according to his activity in dispensing them to others. This is revealing from several points of view. It tells us that Hayley was very free with his suggestions, in fact was a bit of a pain, and that Flaxman was clearly irritated by some of them, and particularly his misunderstanding of the iconography of what would be appropriate for a judge. And I think you can certainly see some suppressed anger in all of this. But it's also true that Flaxman pours on a lot of flattery as well. And again, it's clear that the sculptor owed a great deal to his benefactor. And he attributes to Hayley not only advice on the monuments, but also on having the original idea of the Collins monument. And he then goes back to the importance of Chichester for him and the many monuments Hayley procured for him there. Now, it was for Chichester that Flaxman made the extremely well-documented monument to the poet William Collins. Flaxman was in Rome when approached, and he sent a detailed letter, which I'm not going to read out, don't worry, with 4 finished drawings for alternative treatments, with explanations, and fatally, as it turned out, prices for each version. Flaxman's first 3 drawings contained fully worked out sketches for a figurative pediment illustrating a poem by Collins to go underneath a low relief of the poet reading the Bible. Whatever Hayley's own views were, the committee did what committees always do in such cases. They chose the cheapest option without any pediment at all. So least two very detailed designs were thrown away.